Hello, everyone. My name is Davion Grigsby. I am a community technologist at DoSpace, and today I'm just going to be going over some tips, some little tricks I know with the iPad. And first off, I'm just going to go over like the iPad itself. So this is a seventh generation iPad that I will be displaying and sharing with everyone. It's a 10.2-inch screen. The one I have is 128 gigabytes. It usually starts off at 32. I don't have it personally, but my iPad can connect with the Apple Pencil keyboard and mouse if anyone does have that accessory. I personally opted out not to get those things because I just like to be more hands-on. So with the iPad, uh, I'm just gonna start with, so this is one of the newer features by just swiping just kind of slightly to the right. So what I'm doing, I have all these it's like a little notifications tab. So I have shortcuts, stocks, battery life. I know with my AirPods, I lose track of when they're about to die. So I'll keep eyeing this area right here. Map destination, shortcuts to get to apps quicker. And I have news because I like to look at news articles from time to time. Another feature that I think is really catches my eye the most is if I'm in, say, right here, the Safari, and I want to do another page, so we're going to make another tab. I can do this. So we can just bring this, and we can have basically two of the same pages, or if you were doing like an article for class or something, I can scroll simultaneously on either screen, which is to me one of the coolest features of the new software in the iPad. And not only does this work for just the iPad, it works for mostly any of the applications. So if I do it with music, I can kind of drag it. Oops. Let's see. Oops. Now it's being a little stuck. Oh, I'm actually going the wrong way. Shrink it. All right, actually, I have to open Safari first. That's what I was doing wrong. Oops. So we'll just close that one. Bring up the little dock. Then I actually have to click this, then hold that and drag it right there. There it is. Sorry, it took a little while to get that in. If I wanted to listen to any music or anything while searching or wanted to change, I can just do that. So to close that, you would just swipe down. Just trying to slow it down so I don't mess that up. Or you could do it like that. That's another way if you wanted to do that. Just close that one out. Uh-oh. We're swipe down. Actually, we'll just hit the double button on the screen. Clear all these. So, like I said, the dock is actually always basically there no matter what you're on. Just have to swipe up if you need to get to anything. In my dock, personally, I have my settings, messages, 2 music apps that I use, 2 internet browsers that I use. And so that's that. So with my fingers, basically what I'm doing most of the time is I just swiped up when I did that. So that's how you get the array of apps. If I had more apps open, so I can just probably open a few real quick. So if I just swipe up kind of gently, I have all the applications right there, and you can kind of see what I have open. And to close them, you would just swipe up, and just swipe up again. And if you swipe down, you'll get all of the notification screens. Here I just have news, emails, things of that nature. So another trick I learned was, if I can get it open, let's just open Safari again. We can hit done and close that out. If you do like a half circle, that kind of also opens up the little the array of apps. You multitasking, that's the word I'm looking for, multitasking, to show everything you've been doing. And that's kind of one of the biggest features Apple's been doing, is like there's a lot of things you can do with the iPad. So just multitasking everything. So let's go to system preferences. So here in settings, we have our iCloud information. So it has all my other devices, my watch, my iPad, the iPad itself, my MacBook, my phone. So if I also like needed to find anything, I'd find my iPhone, I have my friends' locations that we share with each other. If we did my iPhone, which I'm not going to do, it would kind of pull up the map if need be. I have a Windows computer when I used to run iTunes off of. Another thing that is really unique with this, let me just tap that, is the home screen. So like it shows right here, if it gives a second, it'll do that little notifications tab to the left, or I can just have it bigger, which would just be the normal home screen. It won't have that feature when I swipe right, but I'm gonna leave it at the more option. I can also have it show the suggested and recent apps in my dock bar right here. So I just have that flipped off so I can just have the normal stuff. But if I flipped it on, it would have my music, Safari probably, and any other applications I use. Let's see. Another thing that's pretty new is the light and dark feature. Due to the iOS software, we have that right there. And if I wanted to switch it, which is really bright to me, to the light feature, which is mostly the kind of the white background, but I like the dark because it's kind of easier on the eyes. So I'm gonna flip it back to dark. And you can also set it to automatic. So if I set it to that, it'll just do that until sunset, or custom schedule. I can customize it to go to normal whenever I would need it to. So I'm just gonna switch back off, switch back to dark. Another feature we can go into is, I'm not gonna enter my passcode, but you can use the fingerprint and Touch ID. With this iPad, they didn't bring back, but they do have the Touch ID. So you just need a fingerprint. I have both my thumbs. I know on the iPad Pro, it does not have the fingerprint recognition. It has the face ID like the phones do. So it's kind of, if you want that one, you would just get the iPad Pro, which is way more expensive. Not a bit. It's a lot more expensive. Let's see, I believe I have, this is just the settings for Siri. You can say, I'm not going to say the words because it will really just start it up with all my devices nearby. You can look up things. You can look up search, suggestions on lock screen. All these apps I have are able to be used with that feature of Siri. iTunes App Store. So a little feature that I noticed probably this year was whenever I downloaded stuff, it would be all across it would go all across. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm actually going to pause. We have a question that says, how can I lock the rotate screen? So let me show you how to do that. So if you swipe in the right corner, do this, and you hit this button right here, that'll just keep it at whatever you have it. So right now I have it just up and down, but if I was to flip it back to this way, then swipe down in the right hand corner if it's this way and lock it, that's how you lock the screen. Yeah, no problem for that. Oops, I'll just leave it in this way. Calendar. Calendar is a 50-50 for me personally because I just keep everything on my phone because I don't have my iPad with me most of the time. My iPad personally is for if I'm in class and if I didn't bring my Mac charger or if I was in a rush, I do always have my iPad when I do go to class. So if my Mac's dead, I'll just pull out my iPad and just take notes and do said assignment if I can, or if the software I need is on there. Excuse me. So also with the iPad, I call this my Apple folder. It's all the applications, basically like a Mac. is just like how a Mac runs. I say the iPad runs the same. So most of these apps, a majority of these apps would be on the actual Mac, the Mac, excuse me, MacBook laptop or Mac Air. So let's see, I use Microsoft Word. So the Microsoft version of Word for Apple is Pages. So I can type on Pages real quick. So I could create a document, a cookbook, a guidebook, exploring wildlife, or just a blank document. And just basically take notes and we'll just leave it there. And so if I wanted to share this or export this, I could do a few things. So I could airdrop it to another device. I could turn it into my Canvas, which is for students, college students, which is very helpful because I know for some classes I have to use like an app to do homework, or I can upload it into my Google Drive. But if we get out of there, it should save automatically to this folder right here, which is, oops, didn't want to do that. So I'm actually going to talk about what I just did in probably like 3 minutes. So what I just did, I clicked on My Files. So if we go here, okay, it didn't save because I didn't hit the button for it, but it's fine. So this is My Files. This is connected to all iOS devices. So from my Mac, I can send stuff to the iPad to save. From my phone, I can send stuff to my iPad or my Mac. So it would just be in my drive. So right here, it's just stuff on my computer. I have Reflection for a SQL lab for my class, project, a lot of math stuff, video game stuff. Oops, there we go. All right, so the feature I'm going to show is what I've seen a lot of people come into the space with. How did you get browse to come up to the screen? I can, so browse, I just pulled the page down and this is how I would be able to search for things. So if I had like a specific song or anything like that, or if I was looking for a specific application, so I can type in PlayStation. I got my PS4 app or PlayStation app. They're two different apps. So that's just how, so cancel, you just pull the screen down. I have my iPad turned sideways. So if it's basically the same way, if you have it up and down, you just pull the screen down. I'm going to talk about another thing I'm going to talk about is this, holding down the app and being able to move it. Okay, that one doesn't want to do it, so we're just going to do this one. There it is. So that is basically, this allows you to delete apps, move it freely wherever across multiple pages if you want to have many. Me, I try to stay kind of compact and organized, so that's why I kind of have a few folders because I don't like a lot of jumbo on my screen, kind of throws me off a little bit. So, for example, if I wanted to delete, I'll delete the Measure app because I don't think it's that useful. It's gone. It's an Apple application, so I can re-download it by going to the App Store just right there. But if we're gonna move something, we just keep holding it till it starts shaking. Then if I want to move it here, throw it in that folder, it would be in there, called Internet. You can also change the name. You can put an emoji to make it so it's something that catches your eye, more appealing for you, however you want to do it. So to stop this feature, there's a few ways. You can either pull the screen down, which I did. If I do it again, just keep holding it for 1, 2 seconds, about 2.5 seconds. You can also hit the home button on said device. So let's go into, oops, sorry for the pause, everyone. Let's go into app I use a lot. Oh, iMovie. Nope, not iMovie, sorry. I'm trying to find it. Oh, yeah, home. So home is a quite unique feature. I don't have it set up personally, but What I've learned about it is it's basically like having it's basically your house right in the palm of your hand. So to start building connections from adding lights, locked doors, thermostats, and other home kit accessories. So I can add an accessory. That's just my floor, so we're gonna ignore that. I don't think they have anything. Oh, so here's some stuff. Sorry, that's what I meant to hit. These are just other devices that will the home pod, center of your home, grants access to people you trust, and automate accessories to do what you want when you want. So the basically the only key feature is having that set accessory or making sure the device is running iOS 10 or later. So let's clear up. So just to give everyone a little side note, doing what I just did saves tremendous battery life. The iPad itself does run very well in battery. I know I've forgotten to charge it for like 2 days, so it's only at 87. I just put it on a charger before we started the webinar, but I do recommend just closing apps because I don't keep any apps running. I always make sure to close, so therefore my iPad can survive for variations of a long time. Excuse me. The camera I would say on the iPad it's not like crystal clear, but it's good enough for a tablet. It's not like the iPhone, like how clear that is, but it is very useful. I know in here there's a photo booth, so if kids wanted to do anything fun on there, photo booth is very fun. It's just something silly. Games. I have just like a word search, a little ninja fighting game, and like a little arcade game that I found. TV. So the cool thing about the iPad, I feel I like to watch a lot of my Netflix and everything on here is it will connect all these shows that I will watch. So there's so many shows. All these are variations of different channels you can have. I personally have I have Netflix, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. So those are what connect. You can rent movies, buy movies, like they have here. $5.99 rental, $19.99. So just all variations of shows that you can connect to. If we go, I'm gonna lock my iPad real quick. So if we go here, I have it on Do Not Disturb. As everyone's probably seen, I get a lot of notifications and email. There, I just opened it up very quickly because I have the fingerprint set to do that. Let me go back to settings, see if there's anything I missed. You can also have Apple Pay set up. I don't have it set up on here. I do have it set up on my phone, just because, if I don't have my iPad connected to a service provider like Sprint, Verizon, companies of that nature. So it kind of useless, excuse me, because it wouldn't be able to connect to their card reader when you're at checkout. So unless you have like a service provider carrying an iPad, like to do transactions with the card or Apple Pay, it would not be very helpful. TV. Oops, we have a question I see. We do not, sorry. TV, I have my TV provider. Oops, wrong one. I have Cox, so I don't know why that's not checked, but usually I allow ESPN to connect to it. So whoever you have, you can just have to type in I believe it's the email associated with said TV provider account. I'm pretty sure it's that. I'm not gonna get into that one. That one's Game Center. So Game Center is basically kind of like if anyone has a PlayStation or an Xbox, it's like your gamer account. It'll find nearby players. I can have friends. Can customize the name, profile picture, things of that nature. iTunes U. We're not gonna get into that one. We're gonna get out of it. So, like I said, I think I've mentioned already, a lot of my things are synced across multiple devices. So my notes, my music. So if I added a song to a playlist on my iPad, it will be on my phone because I have it set to do that. But if I download an app, on the other hand, and if I download an app, it'll only download to the iPad. When I first got the iPad, I downloaded at least majority of these apps, and I was wondering why a lot of them were showing up on my phone. And it's because it was a setting that I had set, the automatic downloads, which if we go back to, I believe, I'm getting closer. Okay, that's not it. Here it is. I have it flipped on the music downloads. So we flip that back on. I don't know why that was on. Oh, okay. See, sometimes it'll switch back on and off. Don't worry about that. Just make sure it flips on if you're going to do this. So I have the apps off because it will download literally every app I download on my iPad to said iOS device, like iPhone. Doesn't do anything really to the MacBook itself. That's pretty much everything I have to cover. I'm open to any questions if anyone has any questions. Is it safe to keep passwords on your iPad? Yes, and I would say yes. Here's why I'm saying strongly yes. For me personally, I have on this iPad finger recognition, and that allows only me to see my password. So unless someone else in the world has like your thumbprint or knows the passcode, if you opt out not to use the fingerprint option, there should be no way they can get to your passwords, because if I go to, there's a password in accounts, it immediately it's set to just touch ID, or if I hit the home button, not the home button, it'll require me to type in my fingerprint, or if the fingerprint's not working, the passcode option will come up. So it is safe, but still I would just practice, safe password habits and things of that nature, not giving anyone your password, or not having it too simple. Something that just only you and someone else you trust to know. Any other questions I can help anyone answer? Yeah, I think it's been posted publicly, but if anyone does have any questions before we end this chat, you can just email hello@dospace.org, and someone will be gladly be able to reach out to you and hopefully get your answer question or problems. I have an iPad too many. Is it obsolete? I wouldn't say it's obsolete. I would say if you're just like keeping the updates and everything, like if you're continuing to update it in the program, or the iPad itself isn't slowing down or anything, and it's still taking the programs that you have, then it's not obsolete. But I would start to possibly look into getting a new iPad, because it seems like every year it's a new update or a new software every 2 years. So I know eventually it will be probably discontinued. I can't say when it would, or when it could possibly start to have issues that are probably beyond like my measure. But I know I used to have an old iPad, and it started to slow up because it wouldn't be able to handle the software. And I just ended up kind of not having one for a while. Then I got one again. So it's just honestly up to you. If everything's still functioning correctly on your iPad, then it should be good to go. But I would just keep in mind like that time is kind of an enemy. So I would just keep a lookout, because I know I got a great deal on this iPad. So I would just keep an eye out for new iPad deals and things of that nature. Any more questions, anyone? Does anyone else have any questions I can help answer? If not, I think we're gonna probably end the webinar. Oh wait. Oh yeah, no problem at all. So like I said, if you have any more questions after the webinar, feel free to email hello@dospace.org. Again, I am Davion Grigsby from DoSpace, and thanks for joining us today. Hope everyone's staying healthy and warm due to the unfortunate snow. Hope everyone has a good day.